Okay, so today we're going deep, really deep.
Deep dive.
Yeah, a deep
50
dive
minutes deep, right?
into this quote that's been on my mind. It's one of those that you hear and it just kind of sticks with you.
Yeah.
Um, Let not your heart be troubled. You believe in God, believe also in me.
Oh, yeah.
That's Jesus, obviously. But
Heavy.
heavy, yeah. And actually, this whole deep dive is inspired by a question we got
Okay.
from a listener who was like, what does it even mean? Like, what's the deal with that quote?
It sounds so simple, right?
Yeah, deceptively simple, I think.
But yeah, it's been resonating with people forever, literally for centuries.
Yeah, I mean,
It's wise.
it gets you thinking.
It really does.
So let's get into it.
Okay, let's do it.
Where do we even start with something like this?
Well, I think it helps to know like when and where these words were spoken.
Okay, so like the context.
Yeah.
The setting, like, was it just a random Tuesday or something?
No, not at all. This is from the Gospel of John, and he's talking to his disciples like right before things go really, really south.
Oh, so like the Last Supper vibes.
Basically, yeah. Shortly before his arrest and, ultimately the crucifixion.
Wow. Okay, so knowing that really changes how you hear those words.
Right. Talk about pressure.
Intense.
Yeah, imagine like telling your friends, don't worry, have faith when you're facing that kind of situation. That's next level conviction.
Yeah. Okay, so with all of that in mind,
Mm-hmm.
let's actually look at the words themselves.
Okay.
Let not your heart be troubled. I mean, how many times have I felt that,
Right. We all deal with anxieties and fear, right?
All the time.
It's just part of being human.
But it's interesting, like, he's not just saying, like, oh, yeah, life's hard. It's more like, I see your fear, but there's a way to deal with it.
Exactly. It's like acknowledging the struggle, but offering hope at the same time.
And then he connects that to belief.
Yeah, that's the key part. You believe in God, believe also in me.
That's where it gets complicated for me. Well, it's easy to say you believe in something, but when things get rough,
Huh.
actually living by those beliefs,
Yeah.
that's a whole other thing,
Totally. It's like admiring a beautiful painting versus actually picking up a brush and creating something yourself.
Right. But how does that connect to believing in him? What do you make of that part?
Well, that's where it gets super interesting, right? Because he's linking belief in God with belief in himself.
Right.
And that's a big statement. Like some scholars argue that this points to his divinity,
Oh, interesting.
while others see it as emphasizing his unique role, like a mediator between humanity and God.
A mediator.
It's almost like he's saying, if you can trust in something as vast and unknown as God, then surely you can trust in me too.
That's a pretty powerful thought.
Yeah.
But like, is it really that simple?
What do you mean?
Like, can any kind of belief really bring comfort? What about beliefs that are harmful or lead to conflict?
Oh, that's a really crucial point. Blind faith can definitely be dangerous, absolutely. But I think what Jesus is referring to is a belief rooted in something deeper,
Oh, deeper like what?
like love, compassion, understanding. A belief that connects us to something bigger than ourselves. That something could be a higher power, a community, even a cause that gives meaning to our lives.
Okay, so it's not just about believing anything, it's about what you're believing in.
Exactly.
All right, so we've talked about what the quote means and the context and all that, but
Yeah.
like, what's the takeaway for our listener? How does this apply to their life?
I think the takeaway is this. Even when things are super tough, remember, you're not alone.
Okay.
There's strength in belief, in trusting that there's something beyond the chaos.
Something me to hold on to.
Yeah, exactly. And that belief, that trust can be a lifeline, especially during dark times.
So it's not just some nice saying.
Nope.
It's like a call to action.
I like that.
To really examine what we believe in and how those beliefs can actually help us face our fears and find some peace.
Yeah, beautifully put.
So like, what do you believe in? What gives you that sense of peace?
And that's the question, isn't it? Because it's not just about believing in something.
Right.
It's about believing with your whole heart, with your whole life.
That's a great thought to end on. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive.
Anytime.
And to everyone listening, keep those questions coming and we'll keep diving deeper.